If someone tells you they did some math, you know it's gonna be wrong. Yo, this is Wackaflcka, and today on Wackaflcka Mythbusters, we are checking out Ravenous Hydra versus Titanic Hydra, okay? What's up? Hope you guys are having a good morning, evening, night, whichever one fits shit like that. So yeah, let's get into it. First, I'll show you guys the myth that we're gonna try and break here today, and that is according to someone saying they did some math here on Ravenous versus Titanic. And what they said was, in a perfect scenario, Ravenous will do more damage than Titanic in every case, okay? And they concluded with, it all depends on what you feel like playing and what situation you get. But I would say that it's easy to set up scenario for Rav. So, is this true or is it not? That's what we're going to find out here. And after this video, you guys will not have any questions left regarding how Titanic or Ravenous work, because I will show you everything while also simultaneously trying to break this myth here, okay? So yeah, let's go. Boom. So I'm going to read and show both abilities first, or items. And first we're going to start with Ravenous Hydra, so we can see on the screen here. And this one's a cleave, whereas Titanic is a cone, okay? So how the cleave works, as you can see on the screen, is that when you shoot the target, around that target, it's going to be a cleave. It's going to explode around them in a full circle, okay? And it's going to deal damage to the targets around it. And depending on how far away they are from the explosion, they're going to take more or less damage. Being closer means more, further out means less, okay? And the key point here with the Ravenous is that we'll deal only one explosion per auto attack, regardless, okay? And that's what we're going to keep in mind here as I show Titanic later, okay? So just remember that. Regardless of how many auto attacks you do or how many times you attack one person, it's only going to proc once, okay? And here we can see Titanic Hydra. It's going to shoot in a cone forward from the person you shoot. So it's not going to shoot the ones on the side. It's only going to shoot the ones behind the target you shoot. And obviously one of the key differences here are Titanic will scale with HP, whereas Ravenous will scale with AD, okay? Obviously the stats are also a bit different here, but it's the damage we're looking at here now today. And there's a key difference here. Ravenous around the target, Titanic in a cone forward, okay? As well, will Titanic actually not deal less damage regardless of distance, whereas as we noted with Ravenous, the further they're away from the initial explosion, they will take less damage. So with that said, let's get testing. First test, one dummy next to it, Ravenous 68. And then same test, Titanic Hydra, we'll see they will deal 86 damage. So for one splash target, Titanic will actually do more. Granted, the dummy wasn't quite on top for the Ravenous one, however that won't matter because we're going to test that now on number 2. And as we'll see here, we're going to stack every single dummy we can on top of each other, and then we're going to test both Ravenous and Titanic. And as we can see, Ravenous with all stacked is dealing 269 damage. Now same test with Titanic Hydra, and we will see that Titanic Hydra will actually deal slightly less damage here at 224. And the reason for that can depend. Maybe the dummies weren't stacked properly. If they were further behind, maybe they would get hit properly and deal damage to all, or this is the actual number. Regardless, Ravenous did slightly more here. But that won't matter, because in realistic scenarios, when you're utilizing your Ravenous or your Titanic, you are using ultimate. And that's what we're trying here in test number 3. And as you can see with ultimate, we're getting 448. But when doing the same test with Titanic Hydra, we can see that we're getting 869, a significantly larger number with Titanic. And that's a recurring theme we're going to see now as we move forward there to the last test that we're going to do. So for the last test, Hurricane and Ultimate with Titanic and Ravenous. And with Ravenous, we can see again, we're getting 448. Whereas if we do the same thing with Titanic Hydra, we will see that we're going to get 1,303 damage. So yeah, that's the results. And I do think personally that Titanic Hydra is better because it will do more damage overall in most cases. And as you can see here, there was only one example where Ravenous actually did more damage than Titanic. And another thing you noted, when you used your ultimate, your Titanic damage got doubled. But then when you used your Hurricane as well, it got tripled. Whereas Ravenous doesn't actually get those effects because the auto attacks only works on once. Whereas if you get auto attack plus hurricane on the same target, it will create 2 Titanics. Whereas with Ravenous, you'll only create 1 because it's capped, okay? And that's the conclusion here. I do wish Ravenous was viable though, because I would have loved to be able to play it. And it is of course playable, but it's not optimal. If you actually want the most damage, you should definitely go with Titanic. But if you want to do some fun Omnivamp build or something, then for sure try to go Ravenous. But overall, the damage will be way better with Titanic overall. And that's it. Take care. Have a good one. Bye.